Hey, how's it going? Let me turn this down a little bit. Cool. So, on another live stream here, going to be continuing work on skylounge.social. The last couple of streams were a little rough, and to be honest, I wasn't feeling that, so I ended up doing some stuff. And basically, what I ended up doing is, at first I was like, maybe I just don't have this NX repo configured right. And so I spun out a new one and I tried to port some stuff over and made sure that um, I was basically building all of the libraries that were in it and making sure that they could be easily used both amongst the apps as well as across other libraries and stuff. And then that just wasn't working right. So I just ended up, I feel like I'm entering this like vintage software period where I'm just going back to versions of software where I know that they work well. And we'll see. I don't know where it's going to take me, but essentially, I ended up going back to this version of NX, which is I think they're at like 20.8, and I ended up going back to 20.08. That was the same version that I started that I used when I started starterpacks.net, and it worked really good for that project. I ended up basically initiating a new monorepo with that same version. I got the website set up, I got the API set up, I got all my libraries ported over, and everything is working good. I dialed in my prettier and my auto cleanup stuff. And yeah, there's just something about the new version. I'm just not sure if I'm like, oops, it's punching mics. I'm not sure if I guess I'm just not sure what direction they plan on going with it. I need to do a little research, but I still don't have time for that. I gotta just be building. So I will dig into it. I know that they are approaching version 21, and it seems like they're super excited about it. But if it's a continuation on what I'm experiencing with 20.8, I'm not on board. The things I liked about NX was the fact of like the consolidated package JSON at the root, the fact that all the apps and packages were basically using all the same versions via that. Now that they started breaking up and adding package files to every single app and library, it just seemed like that got a little convoluted, especially when you're not publishing those packages. And it also seems like they're trying to get you to have to build everything. So I don't know. Wasn't a fan. Ended up kind of going back and starting over. And I think the repo is in a good spot right now. So with that said, I also got the Bluesky authentication, I think, working. I have to check it out. I actually did build some components like update the site header and put in some of the stuff to where we can basically pull the user and the account and all the other stuff and have it to where we can update the UI based off of what we're seeing there. So I think things are at a good spot, but I guess we will see. So I also do have some tunes jamming. I'm listening to Fugazi just released some live albums, so I'm listening to, I believe it's their I think it's the first show. And then we'll probably listen to this one and then maybe listen to the last show that they ever played. But yeah, that's going to be, I'm going to post that in the chat real quick. But so yeah, so we'll see where it goes. Oh yeah, let me see if I can post that over here too on the Twitters real quick. Let's see. Can I see chat? So I swear, like, I can't get Twitter to work on my phone for some reason. It's just like the app is borked. I think I need to delete it and do something else. But I also, can you not access the chat via the iPad app? It doesn't look like it. Super annoying. Super annoying. But I'll show it as a reply on here if anyone's interested. I could get the let's see if I can get the URL over to it. All the things. But so yeah, so there we go. If you're curious about listening to some tunes, I added a comment to that original post on Twitter. And I'll be mixing it up. But for now, a little Fugazi action. I feel like we need it in these political times. Ground us. But yeah. So let's get into the code. So yeah, basically for anyone who just hopped on, I'm working on skylounge.social. It's going to be, I mean, I guess it's kind of funny if people are watching this on Twitter, but it's going to be like a X / like Twitter Spaces alternative, both kind of like wrapped around Bluesky, but obviously not limited to Bluesky, but kind of like tightly integrated with it. And so far, I've got the repo set up. I tried to get like the authentication and everything. I was having some issues with the monorepo. I went back to an earlier version of NX, and now I got things kind of rocking and rolling right now. So let's get into that. Let me just bring up the Stream Deck app real quick. I could have started earlier, but I was watching the end of that Celtics Knicks game. Figured I had to get into it. So yeah, this is in classic Ecamm fashion. It picked the wrong repo, but we'll get that updated. Cool. All right. Let's see where we're at. So yeah, we're on the main. I'm gonna bring up the site and the API. And so far, I'm thinking that's all we're going to need. We might end up needing something down the road, but I'm going to try to focus on just getting a few components in there so we can show the logged in state and just show that the Bluesky auth is working. And then I really want to try to dig into like what the like how the rooms are going to be oriented, and like when you go into a room, like where the host and then also the listeners, and how that thing's going to be all oriented both for like desktop viewing as well as mobile. And yeah, just try to really optimize some stuff here. But we're going to bounce out to the app here. And for now, I'm going to create a context that's just local to the app. I mean, I guess I actually already have it. Let's see. Yeah, we might actually be able to start using this. So let me pull up site header over here. Yeah, we have some of this already commented out because of stuff. But I think we're pretty close to being able to use this now. So let's organize this stuff a little bit. Oh yeah, I commented all this stuff out because I was able to redeploy the site based off of the updated repo. And, obviously this thing isn't ready for prime time yet as far as people logging in and doing anything. So I wanted to get that connect button out of there, and that's why that's hidden away. But yeah, if you have any questions about like what's going on or like why I'm working on this project or any of that kind of stuff, feel free to drop them in the chat. I think I will get notifications from Twitter or X or whatever. So yeah, feel free to ask away. And also, if you're jamming on anything, this is like an extension of Jam Sessions, which is a podcast that I need to like kick back up. But the idea is just to kind of talk to people that are working on stuff. Oh yeah, let me get the play streams overlay on here so you can see some tunes. Basically, whatever's down here, it's just the server running, so you're not gonna miss much. If you want to see what's down here in this other terminal window, let me know, and I'll hide the tunes for a bit. But cool. So I think we can do this. We can just at least conditionally show this button, and basically, if we have a user, we will show something here, and if not, we will show something else. But for now, we'll just do client.user. I don't think it has a handle. Let me check out the schema. I know you think it does, Cursor, but I don't. Yeah. We'd have to go from user to accounts. And I think account has a handle on it. Username. That'll work. So let's see here. Let me make sure this is coming up over here. Remember what's going on. There we go. So yeah. So I go over to the site. So you can see up here, it actually is, it's getting my handle on Bluesky, which is at ryanheffner.com. So auth does seem like it's working, which is rad. I don't have like a proper menu over there yet, but I can just show you the fact that if I delete this and then refresh real quick, you'll see the connect. I just grab the connect modal from starter packs. I'll stylize it to be the proper thing, but for now it works. And then yeah, obviously this isn't looking so hot because it's the but we can make that stand out a little bit more. So that seems like that's working. That's cool. So now it's like, and I've been kind of debating this, and I'm not sure exactly which way I want to go. There's parts of me that want to, I just don't know. I'm not sure how integrated I want to have like the app experience to be on the main site versus potentially having it in like an app subdomain. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for we'll just design some stuff on the main site for now, but I am going to make a new UI package that we can have down here in this skylounge directory within the libs. So So directory, it would be lib/skylounge/UI, and then the import path skylounge/UI. I think that'll be good. We're not going to worry about that. We're not going to do a build around it for now. We will lint it. So we'll get that set up. And this will just kind of make it nice to where if I ever do want to bust these things out into, maybe there's a list of active rooms or active streams that you could throw on the main like www or have it and then also have obviously all the rooms listed in the app. I can just read from this one directory and pull all the UI components from there. So let's see. I guess the first thing we need to do is probably have I'm just going to do like what a room is, I think. And then I'll figure out either the modal or the drawer or whatever that we're going to, or a sheet or whatever we're going to do to let's just have a room card. Not cards. So yeah, start just pulling in some Chakra stuff. Again, this is where I've actually been thinking about it. I think I might actually write like a blog post about like my vintage era of software user package use. The version of Chakra that I'm using is like the 2.0 stuff, just because I don't want to blow all these components into my repo, and maybe I don't know, maybe it's risky, but I just like the way this one works, and I know that there is some concerns about speed and performance, but so far it hasn't really been that big of a deal. I just think it's like nicer to work with for now. But we'll start kind of see where the vibes take us. Obviously, it's auto suggesting some stuff. I'll get a page up here in the app that we can do a little room test in or something. All right, so with the way that the auth is set up is, let's pull some of this stuff over. We'll see how relevant it actually looks once we get to this page. But oops. Start pulling in some stuff. But basically, I have it to where I'm using just the page router stuff. And so you have get server side props, and I can just compose in these different handlers, these prop handlers. And so with auth is the one that basically will, grab the user and the token and all that other stuff. And for now, it'll pass it into the app via the page props property. And then I can kind of compose it in to the Skylaunch provider and have that be referenced by the auth provider. So it is kind of a little annoying that you have to pull this in, but at least you're not pulling in all that same code. I'm using my like next proper package to basically be able to compose these things. Yeah, as like a side note, I was doing some work on starter packs, starterpacks.net, and I was trying to like bump up the number of pages indexed by Google. So hopefully I can try to get into some more search results and drive some organic traffic. And yeah, server side rendering so much more stuff. It's been awesome. It took the number of index pages from like 3,000. It dipped down to like 2,000. Now it's back. Now it's up to like 45,000 pages, and hopefully it's gonna maybe triple or from that number as well. The only problem is the crawlers are being a little aggressive on the Vercel instance. So it's like racked up like a $90 charge just indexing all these pages. Site's been hit like, let me look at the Vercel real quick. It's a crazy number of amount. And unfortunately it's going to cost me, but yeah, let me go to usage. Yeah, it's like served like 90 gigs worth of stuff. Let me see the actual. Yeah, 17 million. 17, almost 18 million edge requests. And so I'm almost like double my allotted request numbers. But fingers crossed after it's done with this indexing, those will go down and that won't be my sustained bill every month. I did end up turning on what's it called? Fluid compute. So supposedly that'll allow requests to work. Like basically if multiple requests are coming at the same time, they'll kind of get spread out across the same process and utilize that instead of having their own one-off instances. So, fingers crossed that's going to drop my bill down, but we'll see. We'll see where it ends up. It does actually make me wonder whether I should launch Skylounge and use Vercel for the front ends or not. But I don't think there's going to be as many rooms and pages. So I don't think I'm going to end up having as much incurred cost for the indexing of the site. But we'll see. You never know. It could end up going that way. And if that's the case, then I'll figure out an alternative. Or actually, I mean, for starter packs, I probably should just have everything be like ISR. What's that stand for? But basically, static render all those pages so that way everything's cached, and then just like maybe let them stick around for like 6 or 12 hours. And that would probably save me a lot. But we're not focused on starter packs right now. We're focused on Skylounge. So yeah, here's the app. Let's get this card in here, this room card thing, and just start playing around. So clean that up a little bit. Need to get my my sort organizing stuff in for Actually, let's flop that. Get my import sorting squared away, but I'll do that off feed, so I don't. So y'all don't need to watch that one. Yeah, I can use that. So yeah, let's bounce over to the site and see what we're working with here. Go to rooms. And yeah, we don't need this for now. So we have our card here. And that's a room name. Actually, we probably want to have this be a grid for now. And we'll move this out of the grid. And we'll just have our cards. And then we'll do our if anyone wants to listen to something else, feel free. But also hop into the stream. I'm not sure if Spotify shows you if anyone's in here, but hop into the jam. At least you'll catch a little of the vibe that's vibing. But yeah, let me bring you over the code. All right, so we got that into the grid. I'm going to start playing around with, it's going to be pretty basic. I think it's going to be, let me just make a little list of the stuff we want here. So the card's going to have, obviously, the title of the room, the host or hosts, maybe plural, like a stack. Number of actually, let me see what I called them in the schema real quick. I think I called them guest, maybe. Yeah. We have the guests. There'll probably be a description of some sort. I like that it already added the join button. That would definitely be in there. And then yeah, we may or may not use the card header. We'll see where we get here. Yeah, I guess at some point I'll also So this is another reason why, and again, I need to look at the new version of Chakra, but like if I go to the theme here, oh yeah, I also fixed my fonts. So that was another thing that was like kind of borked with the previous or with the latest version of NX. The way that I was importing the fonts into my projects, that they weren't working, but they're working now. So I got all my Swiss Swiss fonts working. But no, it's just kind of nice. It's like if I wanted to do, I can export out the oops. I can export out like a button theme, and then have the like default props and the color scheme be blue, and also set all these like base styles and stuff like that. And then I wouldn't even have to do this, which is just like one of the cool things about, or what I like about this Chakra. Or this version of Chakra, is it just gives you such a nice way of being able to, from like a high level, auto apply styles to a specific component. And then even if it's like a multi-part component, you can get into that kind of stuff. Just don't, I guess I need to try it out, but working with like Radix or Shadcn or something like that, doing those kind of like top level edits, and also at the same time be able to kind of like on the fly do color scheme blue here, or like throw it to a different variant and have internals get all tweaked. I'm not sure how easy that is to do, but I really like the way that that works. So if anyone has experience with that, let me know, and um, like help me get better. But we'll go to, let's see, I'm gonna clean up some of this stuff. Okay, so we have our rooms here. We got our, this is the room name, this is the room description, whatever this room text is, that's not something we're going to hang on to. I'm thinking this join's actually probably going to go lower right. Maybe we'll do guest down here in line, and then maybe throw the host up in this middle section. Let's see here. So we'll do a flex. So we have our guests. And actually, we'll probably make this more like a pill or something, but I think it would be cool to do a little avatar. I think it's called an avatar group. I'm not sure who that is. Actually, I think so we know we have the user who's logged in. So, excuse me. So for now, we want to use Skylounge. And we'll import that. It's from hooks. Or no, it's from React. That's right. And then so Oh, that's right. I'm not going to have that yet. I need to like port over all my React hooks or my Bluesky hooks that I use in starter packs. So what do we have on the schema that I could pull? I might be able to. Because we do have the actor. And the actor has the avatar. It's going to be gross. It's going to be real gross, but we'll do some drilling. So it'll be client, user, counts, and then pull the actor. Actually, I think we should just do this. And we'll use memo for now, just because it's. And then we'll do the avatar. And for now, we're just going to pass this in, even though we want to do this. But for the sake of getting this in, we're going to pass that avatar to the rooms, and then we'll pass it to. Let's see. Let me check my auth controller. Or no, connect controller. Make sure that I'm actually setting this on here. Oops. So we create our user auth. We create our user. Ooh. We create our account. Oh, you know what? Maybe we create our account connection. It's kind of a wild, a wild number of things that get all wired up, but I could probably consolidate those a little bit. The idea is that essentially you have certain auth connections that are also just kind of just a generic connection, and the two kind of become one. But I got that starter pack stuff there. So then I'm creating the actor. And it's just associating it to that account. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'd have to go to the auth. Yeah, we might not actually have that exposed. Well, for now, I'm just going to grab it from, we'll just grab it. So I'm actually just going over here to to starter packs and just gonna chuck it off this thing. This will work for now. Just needed something to rough it in, you know? I also don't want to have like whatever random thing they were throwing in at it. Cool, so let's go back here. All right, so we have our little lock up there. Now we're in the rooms page, we're in the card. Obviously this needs to be a line item center. All right, that's probably looking better. Let me go back over here. Yeah, it's looking good. And we need this to justify content space between because we want that over there. And we need some gappies between that number and that avatar group. Yeah, it's feeling a little bit better. Now this style right here, that's like my temporary thing, that's not going to be what's going to be on the final thing, I don't think. But we will see. Yeah, I just wanted to get something quick for the landing page, but we'll see if this like blocky cutout style sticks around for the actual real site. Cool. So and then we need to have the basically the same thing here for maybe like hosted by. Let's see. But that's actually gonna be a flex. Basically the same thing. We'll end up probably consolidating those. It's getting close. We need to make that avatar small. So yeah, so basically the same exact thing, just not in a group. This probably will end up going into a group if I end up having to wear posts. Well, we'll see. That gap's a little too much for that one, though. But yeah. Maybe kick up that card a little bit. Also, I'm not doing anything with like light and dark mode. All this stuff is just like hard coded. You know what? For now, let me actually take over the code here real quick. I probably should start weaving in some of the light and dark mode stuff so it doesn't bite me too hard. That's what I ended up having to do with starter packs. I like basically like hard coded it in and then regretted it later, but I mean it was fine, I guess. No, it's not mode. Let me see what's over here. Oh, it is mode. That's right, but then you pass the props. Okay. Oops. Oh wait, did it change on you? It did. What's going on? So it's mode, and then you have your like light mode color, and then your dark mode color. And then we also have to pass in the props to like the closure thing. And uncomment this. So for now, actually, we'll probably just start designing in light mode, and then we'll transition over to dark mode. And all right, so yeah, so if I go over here now, you can see it's basically light mode. And then if I change my appearance to dark, it will go to dark mode, and then Chakra does have some like baked in defaults on that. I don't necessarily care for them, but they do have that. So yeah, we'll go back here for a little bit, and we'll just play around in light mode. Probably get rid of that box shadow. And at some point, I'll probably do similar to what I did with the buttons and hoist up a lot of these decisions into one of those theme files, and remove all these inline props. Oh, sorry, I wasn't showing you the. But basically, all these things I could probably just move over into here and create a a theme.card. And then basically just pull all this stuff over here. And maybe I'll just do that. I feel like all these cards are going to be basically the same. Okay. But because I added it to the theme, it's not going to get the hot reload, I think. So, although button did. Oh, card, it might be a little different because it's it's a multi-part. All right, so I'll leave this for here, but I'll go in and do that later. I think you have to actually specify the parts. But we at least got this for now. So I feel like this is actually, I mean, it's very, very minimal, but it's also kind of like what we're going for. So yeah. I mean, this might actually be good enough for now, just to rough things in. I was just trying to think if there's like anything else I wanted to throw on these cards, but I think that's it. And then I'll figure out if there's like actually maybe these will be speakers. Maybe it's host and also like a breakout for speakers or people talking or something. Or like have a live like speaking thing. Host is such a loaded word. And actually even guests is like a little bit, maybe it's more like attendees. Observers. But yeah, I don't know. This will be fine. This will be fine. So actually, yeah, let's go into, maybe I should get into like a room page. And then if I get into a room page and we kind of just mock some stuff up and then get into, you know, maybe add like a modal and like an API endpoint where we can actually start creating some of these rooms with real content and kind of wire some things up. I am going to have to pull over the Bluesky, all these hooks and stuff that I have from starter packs. But I'm probably not going to do that tonight. I'm probably just going to package those up and publish them. And so that way I can share them across starter packs and Skylounge. So I'm not going to do that tonight, but I might share that on a stream if anyone's interested in going through the tedious process of just kind of buttoning up a package to release on NPM and maybe JSR. I haven't pushed anything directly there yet. And I haven't actually played around with like what it takes to structure an NPM package versus a JSR. I mean, I think they're pretty interoperable, but I also really might not even have to do JSR because I think it's probably just going to consume the standard NPM style, but I kind of wanted to dig into it anyways. So yeah, I feel like, I don't know, this is just, we're kind of like wireframing slash kind of designing, thinking this stuff out. So I think this is good enough for now for like this like grid view. I'm going to start setting up the actual like room page. This is the only annoying thing, but I don't think the site's actually going to have that many pages. Like, at least I hope not. Oops. I know you want to auto import some more stuff. There you go. Want to get that next proper in there for me? Sweet. Cool. So similar to this, we'll just have a container and some stuff. Although this page, I could see it being like a little more immersive. I don't know. We'll see how I think the interesting thing will be like the chat, but we'll play around with that. So we still have our rooms page, right? We lose it? What's going on here? Hydration failed. There's nothing to hydrate. Like a static header. All right. I was not liking something about this new page. What'd I miss? It's all room page up and down. I don't like how I did that. Clean that up a little bit. I don't know. It seems like it's fine now. Cool. So we got a room description. Yeah, it's gonna start throwing some errors as I'm throwing this stuff in. But yeah, it kind of knows what we want to do here. I'll grab the avatar that we have here. Should throw that, I guess, into a constant at this point. So we have our avatar. Actually, I feel like I haven't been in a Twitter space in a while. Is there any going? I guess I can't see him on the iPad app. Can you see him in the? It's like all the more reason why I want to write this app. I feel like it's so isolated where you can actually join a Twitter space here. Yeah, I don't think you can get to it via the website either. So wild. All right. Well, hopefully this will be cool. And then you can all start using this instead of. Maybe I'll make it integrate really nice with Twitter too. So no one gets lost out. I mean, I think that the only reason I really love Twitter Spaces, even though the fact that I guess I really haven't used it too much, is like the serendipity of it all. Just to know that someone's talking, and then to be able to jump in and check it out is rad. And then to be basically like a listener, and then to potentially get included into that conversation is great. It's like, obviously Clubhouse was really popular, but again, I think it was a little bit too app focused, and obviously they were just trying to drive traffic. I'm trying to do like almost like the opposite of that. I mean, obviously everything's going to be on the website, but it's going to be as open as possible. I think I'm going to play around with like having it to where you probably like, and this might even be at the discretion of the person who's hosting the room on whether or not they want someone who's unauthenticated to let them listen or not, or whether they have to be authenticated. And obviously authentication will probably have to be required for chat purposes, or to like, throw up messages and stuff. But yeah, just make it as open as possible. And ideally, consumable in a bunch of different ways. Because it's just like, it's weird, all these kind of like walled off zones. I'm sure there's also technical reasons why they're not doing it. I'm sure I'll bump into plenty of those, but for now, yeah, just let it be free. So we'll air this out a little bit. Oh, did it? Man, oh man. Ecamm, you're killing me. Sorry about that. So I aired that out a little bit, threw a little flex on there. We'll figure out what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know why it has a PX on there. Oh, it's because it's thinking it needs the white background stuff. Yeah, you don't need that anymore. I have to like erase the AI's memory. That design style is temporary. Yeah. Is anyone in the Does anyone listen to the tunes? I'm thinking about changing it up. Or maybe I'll go to the so we've been listening to like basically like I think the first show. Maybe we'll go to the last show. And I guess we're gonna be releasing more of these live albums, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so and like all this stuff is gonna be consolidated at some point. So really, I guess it's just gonna be a grid of kind of avatars below this main section, and then there'll be people who are participating, and then there'll be the chat. So yeah, I'm just looking at my Stark page right here. Oh, guys, we'll clean up this guy real quick. Just get that aligned center and some gapping in there. Yeah. And then I probably will just gonna make some notes of like stuff I'm gonna have to think about. But there's probably gonna be slightly different controls for the hosts of the room versus obviously people who are attending and stuff. So I mean the room page essentially the host controls will probably maybe allow you to like mute people. Invite guests to speak. And then once they're invited, you could also boot them. I'm not going to get into any of the like chat, the chat admin stuff right now in my head, just because I think that's a whole nother beast. But there might be a way to silence someone. They were getting a little too chatty in the room, maybe like a little like a shadow silence or something. Yeah, I'm just thinking. Actually, I feel like the one website that I'll probably end up drawing some information or like inspiration from is the like Luma. Like if I go to like their event page, there's one I was just looking at today, I think. It was the oh maybe I won't. Maybe I won't get inspired by them. Let's see if I go into this one. No, I think their stuff's pretty nice. But where's the search? I'm exploring events. That's what I'm doing. There's another one. There was like it was called like a build day or something like that. Let me see. I might actually have it over here. Release day. But yeah, something this general, obviously not so description heavy, but something like this, maybe like when it started. I think that could be kind of cool. The duration of it. Start time, duration. Well, I guess start time kind of tells you it, but if there's an end time, maybe. And if that stuff doesn't exist and it just doesn't show up. And then, yeah, I guess any sort of like tags or categories that it's in. For discovery. And as you can see, I'm guess I'm going to try to participate in this one. If I'm really ambitious, I might see if I can actually submit Skylounge. We'll see. We'll see how ambitious I'm feeling. But humble beginnings right here. So yeah, let's go back to the code and start making some stuff happen. So we're gonna have that, and now we're gonna have our we could do that. Another flex. We'll have our heading. We'll have our guests. We don't need the room description down there, but we do need a grid. And actually, it might be fine. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, let's just go nuts. Let's see what that's looking like. Yeah, I mean, I probably got to go tighter, but yeah, I think that we can really tighten up this page. And then kind of figure out how we can have some components. The thing I want to have make sure is like when you're actually on the room and you've joined it, and you're listening, that if you were to navigate around or like look into a profile or want to go explore like either the guest or someone who's talking, is that there'll be some sort of like widget that'll follow you around. And so that you'll never really technically leave the room until you exit out of that widget. Or come back to the room and unjoin or something like that, which actually just, I guess we'll throw some join buttons up in here. So we'll probably just do, let's absolutely position a button for now. To do it right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so we have our little join button. We'll move it closer to the actual, make it more prominent, but it's there. It's just floating around. Cool. So yeah, we got this grid. There'll definitely be more information for each one of these people, and they'll probably be in like a small card. I guess I can I guess we could do like a guest card. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Oops. Oh, it didn't focus it? What's going on? There we go. Actually, technically, this will be like a card. So I guess we could do the whole card thing. Card body. And this will, well, I guess we'll see what kind of padding they throw on it. That's right, I need to update these to be, and then also I need to add this to the exports real quick. So we got our guest card. It's going to be a skylounge UI. Oh, that knows exactly what I want to do. Cool. Oops. Keep going. There we go. Yeah, we need to get some gapping going on there. Oh, that's right. I didn't carry this over to the multi-part. That's why it's not coming through. Well, this is the thing that's like, once I set up that card thing, I think this will all be a lot cooler. And actually, I think this could probably be, we can just fit 4 on a line, maybe even more. This depends on how wild we want to get. A 4 at, probably 4 at large. And base will have 2, I guess. And then medium will have 3. Fat finger in this stuff. So yeah, let's see. Oh, just drag the whole window. Yeah. I guess at some point maybe it does get down to 1. Although, yeah, maybe it would get down to 1. And then what do we got? Like on like a iPad goes to 3. What about a big phone? Yeah, it looks a little off on a big phone. I don't think it's quite big enough though to get to that small. Get a little Surface Duo action there. There we go. Cool. So yeah, we'll have our guests. We'll probably have a basically the same kind of thing here. I guess we can do a divider. Just kind of keep things airy. And this would be speakers, I guess. And we'll have a grid of those. But this grid will be like a special grid. But it'll basically follow the same rules, I think. Not like where your head's at, cursor. See, I do think we probably could do like a speaker card. And then we got a card body. And we got our avatars and stuff. But yeah, I mean, my thinking is that the speaker card will have a little bit more overview of like who they are, maybe part of like the description or something, or like their profile. Maybe like a follow button could be kind of cool. So I was actually almost envisioning that this would be and this wouldn't be large, it'd be more like a medium or something. So yeah, let's see where we're at. Oh, I need to export this too. So we have our speaker cards. They're going to be kind of a little bit bigger. Although with those, I almost feel like we can even. Yeah, we'll see. But they're going to have some waveform stuff to know that they're speaking, and maybe the outline will highlight who's doing what. I'm really not feeling that divider. We're going to get rid of that. Clean up our import. And obviously those headers are monsters. Yeah, it's kind of roughing it in. Doesn't have to be perfect. And yeah, it's kind of tighten up everything a little bit. See, I don't know. I feel like this is it's kind of getting there. So I'll go to the code real quick. So yeah, we got this grid, and I'll probably eventually break these things out to where they're not just components shown on the page, but have more functionality. So really I mean, just looking at this right now. I mean, I think what's going to end up happening is something more like where, like maybe this is, I mean, obviously it's not the, actually, yeah, it can't be. We're going to have to do a little fragment up here. Start breaking this thing up a little bit. But just to kind of give it a little, oops. Yeah, you know what I was talking about. Cursor had me. Oh, sorry, I'll take you the code. I'm trying to get better at this. Are you looking at the right code? Cursor, come on. All right, I'm closing, closing starter packs. You don't need to see it. Or eCam, I should say. Sorry. I don't know why. I select it and it just doesn't always keep it. Really annoying. All right, so just gonna throw this container up in this box with the background just to kind of break up the page a little bit. It's not, I mean, this will probably be customizable maybe by the room or something like that. But just thinking things through. And that join button doesn't need to be an outline. But will be of color or color scheme white. Or white alpha. Yeah, well, we'll adjust that. All right, so that's that. That's the gist of that. Now the chat. So I'm thinking we're just going to do a drawer. Yeah, maybe some sort of drawer that also, when it's present, can kind of then like push some of those things around so that you can still kind of explore and see the people that are talking. Get it all in there. Come on. So close. No, I don't want the overlay. Don't really want to like obstruct the rest of the page, but we do need the disclosure. And for now, well, this hard code is open to true. Oops, sorry, I should show you the code. Yeah, so I just set up this drawer real quick. Have the disclosure there for true. Drawer content, drawer header, drawer body, drawer footer. It's not going to be a close button there. So this would be like this would probably be like BG black, color white, a bunch of text messages in there. There's not going to be a close button. It's going to be the input to then start adding the text, and then also like a submit. So I guess we'll just flex that out. Be like a text area. And then essentially the body. Let's see where we're at here. Is it showing? Okay, we got something. Actually, maybe I'll just show you the so yeah, we'll actually use the isOpen. And then for now, we'll just throw a little button down here in the header, I guess. Or no, we'll have it up in here with the we'll have it up with the join. Although technically we'll change this, but technically you wouldn't see the chat until you join, so then it'd probably be more of like a leave and then like view chat button. But at least we'll have a button to where we can. Yeah, for now we'll just make it this. So you got this guy. That really slapping out of there. Not the most graceful exit. We'll we'll adjust that. But that's the gist there. And you know, I have our messages kind of coming through in there. So this might be its own thing. I'm probably going to do its own directory just for chat alone, just because I feel like that's going to be just like a chat message. It's going to be its own kind of complex web of components going on. So, but yeah, basically the gist is it'll be flex with a gap of like, I guess 4 again. And it's going to be the avatar, and then yeah, something like that. Then we'll add that to these exports. Oops. All right, so we have our chat message. And then if I come over here and I just want to throw a bunch of those in here. Hopefully, yeah, it's picking up what I'm putting down. So yeah, we're gonna want that to be size small. All right, so you can kind of see they're coming in now. Drawer body has too much padding going on, so we're just gonna zero that out for now. I guess it didn't have too much, but we're gonna want it a little tighter than that. We'll want the name to be a little more than that. And we'll have to have some. So this drawer body will actually do flex with a flexure of column, a gap of, let's say, 2 or so, maybe 3. So yeah, so kind of getting there. We can have this chat in, and then we'll wire all this stuff up in a bit, but just kind of laying out the bones. You're gonna want to probably be able to link or maybe a highlight. I don't know. We'll see. I was kind of getting there. See, I think and then yeah, I'm also gonna have to make sure I figure out a way to where essentially these buttons and stuff don't become, because basically even though I don't have an overlay there, it is blocking interactions with the rest of the page. So we'll tweak the behavior of that drawer. And we also might, we don't really want it to dismiss and stuff when we're clicking on this stuff. So I'll play around with that. But yeah, we're kind of making progress. Should be cool. Trying to figure out if there's anything I want to try to chew off right now, or just leave it like this and then we'll get back to it tomorrow. If we get into it tomorrow, I'm going to set up the form and stuff to be able to initiate the creation of a room. We'll probably try to start roughing in some of the WebRTC stuff, and then also set up, I guess, some of the socket server stuff to then handle when guests turn into speakers, or speakers go back to guest, and who's talking, and waveforms and some of that kind of stuff. We probably won't get into waveforms and stuff tomorrow, but if I could even just get a host broadcasting out to the listeners, and then set up basically how like a listener would subscribe or listen to the streams that are available within this room, that might be a good a good starting point. But as I work on it, I will, be like chiseling the UI to make it better. But this, I feel like this is like a good rough sketch of what needs to happen, and then and everything will just get fleshed out more. But yeah, nothing's really linked up right now. I need to start adding all the links and routing, and then the context to be able to manage this stuff, so that way we can have it to where some of this stuff can be accessible as you're navigating the site. Like maybe everything kind of like it might be kind of cool if basically a lot of this information ends up here at the top. Oh, you can't see it because my video. Like maybe we rethink this whole top section to kind of have like a condensed version of this if you're navigating elsewhere on the site, and this chat panel can kind of be a persistent thing when you're in the room. It also means that you could leave it or do some different stuff, but basically it would behave slightly or have different information up here at the top depending on whether you're actually on the page of the room or navigating elsewhere. That could be kind of cool. But yeah, just kind of roughing the stuff in. And we'll see where it goes. But I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. So hopefully this is interesting. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And like whatever you're working on. But yeah, I feel like this is a good spot to wrap it up tonight. Hopefully this is interesting. If you're into the idea, let me know. I think it's going to be cool, but a lot of stuff to flesh out. But I feel like it's one of those things that's going to kind of go slow then fast. But yeah, sorry, just thinking about some of the stuff I want to start adding to it. And see if I have any. Just going to jot down some notes real quick. Yeah, I mean, I think that chat is probably going to get well, I guess we'll see how complex I want to make it. I also need to start thinking about I was thinking it'd be cool to actually have some like starter pack integrations in here, like essentially, be able to either have a starter pack associated to the room or the ability to like make a starter pack with the speakers and guests that are in the room. Kind of have those stamped and like both like you could make it for like the host, but also like people that are participating in the room could like capture a starter pack of the people that they were with. I don't know, just ways of like having this have some tie-in with both starterpacks.net and but also obviously just like more utilities on top of Bluesky. But yeah, just thinking. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna end it there. All right. So once again, I'm Ryan Hefner. This is like a jam session solo edition, and I'm basically gonna just keep working on Skylounge. It's at skylounge.social. And you can sign up for the newsletter there, and I guess I'll start sending out some emails as this is getting closer, just to get some people to start testing it with me. Maybe hop on some early broadcasts, and yeah, that should be about it. All right, so yeah, check it out, skylounge.social, and yeah, get all you Twitter follower or Twitter reviewers, head on over to Bluesky and follow me at ryanhefner.com. I'm gonna start poaching you from these streams from Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. We'll get everyone over there on the other network. All right. Hopefully that doesn't offend anyone, but whatever. All right. That's it. I'm finishing it. All right. Have a great one. Later.